What if I told you that right now, at this exact moment, hip-hop is quietly revealing who it truly crowned as its king and who it's actively rejecting? Because on one side, you have an artist being celebrated across the world, not just for his music, but for his character, his humility, and the way he treats people. And on the other side, you have someone being dragged daily, not because of gossip or rumors, but because of his own behavior, public, documented, and impossible to defend. This isn't about charts anymore. This isn't about sales. This is about who hip-hop chose and why. And before we even go further, understand this. What we're watching unfold right now isn't random. It's not coincidence. It's the natural outcome of two artists moving in completely opposite directions. So do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, because this story is funny, shocking, uncomfortable, and extremely telling about where hip-hop is headed next. Let's start with the good news. There was a very clear attempt, especially during the later stages of the Grand National Tour, to downplay Kendrick Lamar's impact. You could feel it. The dismissive narratives, the forced indifference, the quiet hope from certain corners that maybe, just maybe, the momentum would cool off. It didn't. Instead, Kendrick did what he's always done. He worked through it. He wrapped the Grand National Tour's international run in Australia, delivered massive performances, and even took part in festival appearances that expanded his reach far beyond traditional hip-hop audiences. And what stood out wasn't just the crowd size or the energy, it was Kendrick himself. He looked genuinely happy, smiling more than we've ever seen him, comfortable, fulfilled. And if you've ever followed touring artists closely, you know how rare that is. Touring drains people. It burns them out. But Kendrick looked like someone doing exactly what he was meant to do. One of the most powerful moments of the entire tour didn't come from a song. It came from gratitude. Kendrick paused the show and shifted the spotlight away from himself. He brought his dancers, his crew, the production team, hundreds of people, onto the stage and made sure they were acknowledged. Not for clout, not for headlines, but because he meant it. He reminded the crowd that this tour wasn't about one man. It was about a village, a collective effort. And as the final international shows approached, you could feel the emotion in the room. This wasn't performative humility, it was real. Moments like that don't go viral because of marketing. They go viral because people can feel the truth in them. Then came the moment that completely shattered the internet. During a show, Kendrick noticed a young fan in the crowd celebrating her birthday. Instead of waving and moving on, he stopped everything. He brought attention to her. The crowd sang, cameras rolled, smiles filled the room, and just like that, a child walked away with a memory she'll carry for life. That clip didn't just circulate in hip-hop spaces. It reached major news outlets, mainstream platforms, and audiences that don't care about rap beefs or chart battles. It reminded people why live music matters, why artists matter, why humanity still matters. And Kendrick didn't stop there. He gifted her a signed hat, sealing a moment that was already unforgettable. This is what culture looks like when it's alive. What made this moment special wasn't just that Kendrick was kind. It's that kindness feels rare in today's entertainment landscape. In a time where negativity spreads faster than joy, Kendrick created a pause. A reminder, something pure, and the reaction said everything. People weren't arguing about lyrics or sales. They were talking about heart, about intention, about integrity. That's when you know an artist has transcended the genre. Now, here's where the tone shifts. Because while Kendrick was being praised across the world, something very dark was happening online, driven by Drake's most aggressive supporters. The celebration of people losing their jobs. Following the news that Hot 97 canceled Ebro in the morning after 13 years, Drake-aligned spaces erupted. Not in concern, not in reflection, but in celebration. Laughing, posting axe emojis, fantasizing about careers being destroyed. And Drake himself? He fed into it. That's where the line was crossed. Let's be clear, industry changes happen. Corporate ownership changes. Media landscapes shift. Anyone who understands radio knows this wasn't personal beef. It was business. But celebrating job loss because someone criticized your favorite artist? That's not hip-hop culture. That's not competition. That's insecurity weaponized. And the fact that this behavior was encouraged, normalized, tells you everything you need to know about the current state of OVO's leadership. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Drake's remaining fan base didn't just offend him, they internalized his loss. They felt humiliated with him, bitter with him, and instead of letting go, they turned outward. Everyone became an enemy. Every critic deserved punishment. That's what happens when fandom becomes identity. And celebrating unemployment? That's the lowest form of projection imaginable. Here's the part nobody wants to address. Drake just dropped new music, a feature, a collaboration, and nobody's talking about it. No breakdowns, no excitement, no passion. Instead of discussing lyrics, production, or artistic direction, the conversation stayed glued to drama, trolling, and petty antics. That silence says more than any review ever could. Notice something else? Drake has plenty of energy for radio hosts, commentators, and online personalities. But when actual MCs step near his name, he goes quiet. Subtle posts, vague shots, avoidance. That's not strategy. That's fear. And it reinforces the growing belief that confrontation is the only thing keeping his name relevant right now. So let's recap. One artist is closing out a legendary tour, spreading joy, uplifting others, and being celebrated worldwide for his humanity. The other is spiraling online, fueling resentment, ignoring his own music, and encouraging fans to celebrate destruction. 2 years removed from the beef, look at the results. Now be honest. Who actually won? This moment isn't just about Drake or Kendrick. It's about what hip-hop values. Integrity or insecurity. Culture or chaos. Music or manipulation. I want to hear from you. What does this moment say about both artists? Where do you think their careers are headed next? And what does this tell us about the future of hip-hop itself? If you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe for more real conversations like this, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Because the culture is watching, and history is being written in real time.